You're watching the national broadcaster, and you are watching a special edition that comes your way every Sunday. News at 1, the weekly news roundup. We bring you some of our top stories and activities of the week that you could have missed out. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and starting off with activities that did happen during the week. Today happens to be the 11th day of December 2022. As we start off, President Yoweri Museveni this week once again assured Ugandans of government efforts to stabilize the country's social, economic and political status. The assurance comes in the wake of the rising cost of living, which the president attributes to global petroleum challenges. This was during the annual National Thanksgiving service at a State House in Entebbe, where the president warned some political actors against misleading young people into criminality.
The worship was mystically healing, and the praise was soothing to the spiritual ear. Members and leaders of various religious denominations were here to join national leaders for the annual Thanksgiving service. The readings of the day were on point.
No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must be in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me.
The vineyard of the Almighty is the nation of Israel, and the people of Judah are the vines he delighted in.
To complement these readings were various categories of prayers, including one for national economy, another for youth and children.
The gap ratio of the haves and have-nots is currently at madness level. One person has the wealth that would benefit 38,000 individuals.
The members,
we accuse ourselves so that you may forgive us of this vice.
Other prayers were for the family and protection against Ebola and COVID-19. President Yoweri Museveni had arrived earlier in company of the First Lady, Janet Museveni. He paid attention to the events of the day, with the day's preacher calling for accompanying of prayer with work.
It is faith in action which puts God into motion. As God's people, we should pray. But the formula is pray as you work as you pray.
On his part, President Yoweri Museveni acknowledged the rising costs of living.
For instance, people are crying about food. Food prices have, yes, they have gone up. But that means that the farmers are getting money. So that's why more people should go in the farming, because if you know that the food prices are going up. Why? Because there is big demand of food in this part of the world.
He assured Ugandans of government efforts to overcome the situation.
So therefore, I would want to encourage people not to be too pessimistic, because it's not correct. Because I am a wealth creator. I'm not talking from, and I'm not an armchair talker about the economy. I am involved in the economy. I am a farmer. I have bananas, I have cows, I know what's happening in the economy. Some of the sectors of the economy are doing well.
On security, Museveni decried attacks on police installations, warning of unimaginable consequences.
There is a character who was killed in Kapeka with another one called Sechimpi. He was a noop something in Wakiso, and he had been killing people. He had been robbing, killing people a number of times. But finally the security forces got him and killed him. So therefore, my appeal is on the messaging. Listen carefully to what we say.
He cautioned political groups against misguiding youth into criminal tendencies.
There's no way you can think that you can go and kill people, do this, and you survive. You will not survive. And I would want to ask to appeal to those groups who mislead these young people to really stop.
The closing prayer of the day was conducted by the First Lady, Janet Museveni.
Over the course of the year, we have witnessed your goodness, your faithfulness, and your love.
Other dignitaries present included the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, Vice President Jessica Alupo, Chief Justice Owiny Dolo, and the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, among others. The 2022 edition of the annual National Thanksgiving Service was held under the theme, Bearing Lasting Fruit, drawn from the book of John, chapter 15, verses 16. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, more from state. President Yoweri Museveni this week tasked Ugandan farmers to embrace good farming practices and mechanized agriculture in order to increase productivity. Museveni explained that government is leading in the mechanization drive by coming up with innovations aimed at increasing agriculture production in the country. He said this while flagging off heavy earth-moving agriculture equipment at Namalere Agriculture Referral Mechanization Center.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, using a grant of $48.5 billion from the government of Japan, prioritized procuring heavy earth-moving equipment. This was aimed at developing infrastructure and increasing access to water for agriculture production and mechanization. President Museveni has today flagged off this equipment. The equipment that includes tractors is to be given to farmer groups and agriculture inspectors across the country. Addressing the gathering at Namalere Agriculture Referral Mechanization Center, Museveni tasked farmers to embrace farming practices that will increase productivity.
What we call agro practices, good agro practices, like for instance having trenches along the contours which can capture the water and keep it there, having spacing, using fertilizers, so that, and irrigation, because that's what Dr. Muranga is doing. That's where she has gone from the Banyankore 5 tons to 53 tons, 10 times.
He added that government is at the forefront of transforming agriculture through mechanization.
These equipments, some of them are for planting. You can also use them to plant. Some of them can pump water. I have seen one where I am normally a customer, the one of Okweya dams. Okay, what you fellow you would call in your language desilting. I saw it there. They need to come and help me because my dams are now full of papyrus and all that. But with the long arm, it can pull out the vegetation, but also pull out the omshayo.
Museveni also commended the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries for assembling the tractors in Uganda.
I want to congratulate agriculture for this Garbindi Banangi. But as a kwambara Garbindi zirabako. So where they are moving now with their partner, Cooper something, There was a Mzungu who was here. They will now start making some of the parts here, manufacturing them here. So the value made here will no longer be 40%, it will be more than that. And in the end, we can make the whole tractor here.
On his part, the Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, enumerated the ministry's plans aimed at mechanizing agriculture in the country.
To date, the Department of Agriculture, Infrastructure, Mechanization and Water for Agriculture Production has accomplished some of the following. We are completing setup and operationalization of so far 5 mechanization centers: Mbale, Bungoko, Agwata, Indokolo, Chiriandongo, which we are yet to complete, Namarere, this very one, and Buwama. But Namarere is the referral for all. More 14 are to be set up in the subsequent financial years over a 5-year period in the respective zones of the country.
The ministry, however, called upon the government to avail more funds to the sector to fund research.
We need to support research because without research, agricultural development is impossible. Your Excellency, you recently visited Vietnam. We were better than Vietnam some time back, but because they put in a lot on research, that is why they have overtaken us, but we shall also overtake them.
The agriculture mechanization equipment procured by the ministry includes bulldozers, motor graders, excavators, station wagons, double cabin pickups, low bed carrier, vibrant rollers, wheel loaders, and mobile workshop. Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Moving on, President Yoweri Museveni this week promoted and appointed 3 senior officers of the UPDF. The promoted officers include Major General Francis Atakirwa, Major General Bakabasumba, Brigadier General Bob Ojik. The Deputy Defense Spokesperson Colonel Deo Akiki confirmed these promotions and changes at the ministry headquarters at Mbuya. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Forces, CDF, General Wilson Mbadi, commended the chieftains of the medical services for their role in fighting the deadly Ebola virus disease. Mbadi was speaking to specialists who have been treating Ebola patients at Entebbe Regional Treatment Center. Details do follow.
The promotions and appointments of general officers by the Commander Chief and the President of the Republic of Uganda as below.
Major General Francis Atakirwa has been appointed Acting Deputy Commander, Land Forces. Major General J.A. Bakasumba appointed Acting Chief of Staff, Land Forces, while Brigadier General Bob Ojik has been promoted to Major General and appointed Commander, 2nd Division.
Major General Francis Atakirwa, who has been the 2nd Division Commander, has been appointed the Acting Deputy Commander, Land Forces. Major General Jackson Bakasumba, who has been serving under the Uganda Police Force, has been appointed Acting Chief of Staff of Land Forces. Brigadier General Bob Pasiski Ogik has been promoted to the rank of Major General and appointed the Commander, 2nd Division. The Minister of Defense and the UPDF fraternity wish to congratulate the general officers and wish them the best of luck in their new promotions and appointments. Thank you.
Being resilient
Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Forces, Wilson Mbadi, lauded UPDF medics for cooperating with the civilian authority to curb Ebola disease.
Our civilian authorities in combating this dangerous pandemic that was going to affect us. Of course, this is within our mandate, our constitutional mandate. In the 2 areas, one was mentioned by him, of working in harmony with the civilian population, and obviously this one involved in is working with the civilian population in cases of emergencies and epidemics like this one.
The 25 medics, both military and civilians, were urged to remain on standby until the country is declared Ebola-free. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Moving on, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Major General Kahunde this week directed the Police Directorate of Crime Intelligence to launch the investigations of Ugandan politicians who assembled people with scares to the international media in Kenya. General Tafire wants these politicians to be charged with treason once investigations prove them wrong of their torture allegations. Tafire was officiating at the 26th Uganda Police Council.
Last month, Uganda opposition politicians held a conference dubbed Uganda Human Rights Accountability Conference in Nairobi, Kenya. These assembled Ugandans allegedly were tortured by Ugandan security forces. However, the Minister for Internal Affairs, retired General Kahunde, has watered down these torture claims, saying these assembled are border accident victims.
I've now discovered some of the people who were taken for the demonstration were border accident victims. Yes, border accident victims. People took to Nairobi border accident victims and claimed these were victims of torture. Sit down. That's the integrity of our...
Tafire has directed the Directorate of Crime Intelligence to investigate the matter, and once concluded, these politicians will be charged with the treason over maligning Ugandan authorities.
Parade them before international press and say these were torture victims. Tortured by the police, I don't know, by CMI, or I don't know. No. This is criminal. This is criminal, and those people who did that should be brought to book. This is not politics, no. It has now gone beyond the bounds of what? Of politics. It has become criminal. This is treason. This is treason.
The Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, David Leusi Rubongoya, has challenged the minister to provide evidence.
Evidence. Every person that went to Kenya was a victim of torture, a victim of abduction, or person whose relative is missing. These who have been abducted. There was no victim of accident at all. And in any case, for some of the people they are talking about, there are even police reports, like that young man from Makerere. Police issued a statement. And all of them are there. Let them tell us that this person got an accident or whatever. All of the victims are there. Everyone knows them.
Minister Kahunde, while officiating at the 26th Police Council, has urged the police management to design a bankable project intending to improve officers' welfare.
Get people, even if one or two or three, we agree, we build this, then government will look for money.
On the issue of limited police personnel, Minister Tafire wants police force to recruit more to bridge the gap of officers ratio as per the international requirement. One officer is supposed to handle 500 people, though in Uganda the ratio is 1 to 800.
Big parliament, and you want a big police force, and you want to feed them, yet you have one cow. One will suffer. So, one Ochora, you give me your manpower requirements, I'll go and talk to this wonderful parliament and say, this is what I did.
The theme for this 26th Police Council was enhancing people-centered policing for safe and secure society. The Inspector General Police, John Martin Zokothocho, has committed full operationalization of the sub-county policing model.
Engaging communities through our community policing programs aimed at building a stronger trust between the police and the population.
The Minister for Internal Affairs, retired General Kahunde, has commissioned the 420 Naguru police officers' apartment blocks to accommodate senior officers. Abdul Nasile Lubwama and Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
In more updates that did happen during the week, Uganda People's Congress, together with the members of parliament from Bugisu sub-region this week, mourned Professor Patrick Masete Kuya, who died on the 22nd November 2022 in Kenya. This was during a Thanksgiving remembrance celebrations at St. Andrew's Church, Bukoto.
Uganda People's Congress, led by Miria Obote, Jimmy Akena, the party president, and Bugisu sub-region members of parliament, together with the family of the late Professor Patrick Masete Kuya, attended and condoled with his family for the loss of Professor Kuya. Professor Patrick Masete Kuya served under Obote government as the Minister of Rehabilitation from 1980 to 1985, passed on 22nd November in Kenya, and was jetted in the country on the 6th December. Among the members of parliament who attended the funeral service was the Budadiri West parliamentarian Nandala Mafabi, who remains the good works of the deceased towards the country, as he adds on to advocate for unity among the Bugisu sub-region.
I am saying Bugisu, we need to be united, to be a united force. There was no reason why when Nani went to exile, they looted his house, why they destroyed his properties. Why they broke, you understand? Why Rakasese, Chris Rakasese, who was in Ruziraya, they destroyed nothing, they kept it going.
On behalf of Uganda People's Congress, Jimmy Akena, the son of former President Milton Obote, under whom Masete served, says that the UPC strongman is one of the people who contributed greatly to the growth of Uganda.
And it did occur to me that there was no collaboration. We were one, we stood together, and through them, I kept hearing about this wonderful place.
Lydia Wanyoto, government's representative, in her keynote speech, appreciated the government of Uganda towards their contribution to sending off Professor Patrick Masete.
Government was open, and government has been part of the program that managed the process to return him. To the people of Vumbale and Bugisu as general, I would like to join our community to pass our condolences to the Masete family and the community back at home.
This function was also attended by his colleagues and family members.
About Islamic University, whether to go to the territory we are in now, but he did it his best way, and the signature told the university to be where it is today. And was much of it still had plans. Are supposed to go through things to the guys across.
Justin Nakami, Kenneth Tanaba, UBC.
Judiciary, legislature and executive have promised to work together in devising means on how best justice can be delivered to Ugandans. This was during an engagement between the Chief Justice Alphonsio Winyidolo, Prime Minister Robin Anabanja and the Attorney General Chiriowa Chiwanuka.
Last month, during the Registrars and Magistrates Conference, the Chief Justice Alphonso Winyidolo had no kind words for the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja after she got involved in a court case tampering with magistrates' ruling at Mengo Magistrates Court. Dolo also expressed the need to meet with the Attorney General to ensure that the independence of the judiciary isn't tampered with. It's against this backdrop that the Chief Justice, Prime Minister, the Attorney General and the Minister for Constitutional Affairs held an in-camera engagement at the Judiciary Headquarters in Kampala to address this matter. After the meeting, in a presser with the journalists, the three arms of government vowed to work together towards serving the interests of Ugandans.
We have agreed to pursue a different methodology, a more harmonious methodology to serve our people who need our service, for whom we hold these offices.
We have always been close and we shall remain close. And I want to promise you that we are going to work together for the betterment of our country.
We need to put in clear perspective is both the judiciary and the executive are working together for the purpose of a better country and for the purpose of the common man.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja is optimistic that a lot is going to be achieved.
We are going to work better than how we have been, and I'm going to get more coordinated through the Minister for Constitutional Affairs and the Attorney General, then the Chief Justice. The sky is going to be the limit.
Dolo says lessons have been learned from the incident, however cited the need to educate and sensitize people about their rights.
There are a lot of things happening without it. By judicial officers, by other arms of government, but we must deal with them. And deal with them we will, to help our people access justice. We have a duty to educate our people.
Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Parliament this week began the process of censuring the Minister of State for Housing, Persis Namuganza, for faulting Parliament Rules of Procedure. This follows an adopted report of the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline, which recommended a censure process for the Bukono County Member of Parliament after she was found guilty of misconduct and misbehavior. The notice of motion was seconded by Ntungamo Municipality Member of Parliament, Yona Musinguzi.
It all started on Wednesday this week when Parliament adopted a report from the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline, which faulted Honourable Minister of State for Lands, Persis Namuganza, for gross misconduct and misbehavior, which was found contrary to the regulations of Parliament. Accordingly, members who were interested in proceeding with the motion were asked to go ahead. And today, the 9th December 2022, I am just here. This is the Parliament Notice Board. There is a notice of motion which was introduced by Agago North County Member of Parliament, who is none other than Okot John Amos.
MP Okot Amos says this initiative is in line with the Constitution of Uganda and he has been seconded by Ntungamo Municipality Member of Parliament, Yona Musinguzi.
That I am going to defend the Parliament, the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and also to uphold all the governing principles that warrant a leader. So there is code of conducts for leadership.
The report of the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline states that Minister Namuganza belittled public trust and confidence in the integrity of the presiding officers of Parliament.
And if you are a member of Parliament, whether you are a minister, you say that the Speaker or Deputy Speaker does not know how to conduct business, which means all the budget were passed, all the laws were passed. You are telling the country that they are null and void. You deserve to sit in that organization called Parliament and earn salary.
So once members see that there is some sort of arrogance on the person who is a candidate for censure, sometimes that can put the candidate in danger. So we are waiting to see what will happen this time. But like you put it, most often censure motions here have failed.
Although the notice of motion calls for signatories of at least 1/3 of MPs, which is an estimate of about 200 members of 11th Parliament, MP Okot says he will not mobilize for participants.
If they don't collect signatures to the required number, so let it be. It doesn't do anything. That's why they want you to put a notice. And you also give the ground. Then somebody goes, read through, and then from there, move. We are all adult.
Because you remember the recommendations of General L. Tumwine, what we recommended on the floor of Parliament, we are saying that we must look for any suitable punishment against him. And all members accepted that and it passed. But taking the papers for them to sign is different. So I don't think for Namuganza, it is also going to be easy. Because members, they say, so and so will see my name.
Minister Namuganza was on Wednesday advised to either formally apologize to members of Parliament or a censure motion is proceeded with.
When you think that you are remorseful, you are consciously believe that the action to which you are being accused, you have accepted that it was an error, because we are not angels, we make mistakes. You seek for forgiveness, you seek for reconciliation, and then we move.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Bitabinji, UBC News.
Another update coming your way. Parents were this week advised to help shape and choose the best subjects for their children. They were, however, advised against children's use of social media without proper guidance. The headmaster, Standard College in Ntungamo, Luyimbaze Boaz, was addressing parents, teachers and other school stakeholders at the annual general meeting of the school in Ntungamo municipality.
Parents have been advised to regulate their children's use of smartphones and social media to prevent them from getting spoiled. The headmaster, Standard College in Ntungamo, Luyimbas Boaz, was addressing parents, teachers and other school stakeholders at the school annual general meeting in Ntungamo municipality.
Yeah, it's good. You have bought phones for your children. It's good. But again, try to know whom these people communicate with. WhatsApp groups. Have you ever tried to know whom they communicate with and what they communicate? Phones wouldn't be bad, but regulate the way your children are going to use these phones.
The director, Standard College in Ntungamo, Tashobia Stephen, said some school-going children were exposed to drugs, alcohol, loitering experienced in many schools at the height of COVID-19 lockdowns.
For that, some of the parents also don't have full control over their children, and therefore the adolescents were, found it easy to go around their parents, to do all types of things during that lockdown. We have agreed with their teachers that the best way forward is not actually to expel these children. Because when you expel a child, it's not only the child that loses, but also the parent. Some of the parents who have even sold their properties in order to bring these children to school. So we have said that we should reinforce counseling by our teachers, by our administrators, to talk with these children on a routine basis.
The female representative, Standard College in Ntungamo School Committee, Naturinda Sylvia, appealed to parents to love talking to their children and share information to protect them from indulging in temptations to commit sin.
When I return, I will get to find out how the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development is bringing on board the National Security Council campaign against the vandalism of power networks after these messages.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
The festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Ministry of Health informs the public that there are confirmed cases of Ebola in Uganda. We, however, urge the public not to panic as the situation is being managed. The Ministry of Health further reminds the public to be on the lookout for any persons who may show signs and symptoms of Ebola. These include high body temperature, abdominal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding from the body openings such as the nose, eyes, and mouth. Please inform the nearest health worker immediately if you see anyone with these signs and symptoms. To prevent Ebola from spreading further, please take the following preventive measures: regular washing of hands with water and soap, avoid handshaking and hugging, avoiding any contact with any suspected Ebola patients. Any person who dies suddenly should not be buried but reported to the nearest health worker or LC1 immediately. For further information, please call the Ministry of Health toll-free number on 0800-100-066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and World Health Organization.
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, yeah.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife.
Welcome back. Good to know you are still watching the special edition that comes your way every Sunday, the Weekly News Roundup. Now, in more updates of the week as we take you through, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, together with its line electricity agencies, this week agreed to involve the National Security Council in the campaign against vandalism of power networks. The Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nakabra, disclosed this during the annual general meeting of the Electricity Transmission Company.
Investigations around electricity infrastructure vandalism have shown these criminal activities targeting the national economy and security.
From the normal theft and vandalism to something that threatens the economy of the country.
Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nakabra, while officiating at the annual general meeting of the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, has disclosed that this issue will be handled by the National Security Council.
The matter is beyond UETCL alone. It's beyond the Ministry of Energy alone. The matter has been escalated to the level of the National Security Committee. Going to swing in action, and I want to use this opportunity to tell the vandals that we have received their message properly, and we shall respond to it.
Ugandans have been warned not to expect electricity tariff reduction due to the increasing costs of production.
Expect me to reduce the cost of electricity when the cost of electricity transmission and generation and distribution is going up. It doesn't make economic sense.
The Board of Transmission Company has welcomed amendments in the recently passed Electricity Act.
The new amendment gave powers of the Ministry of Energy to be the majority shareholder, holding 51%.
Available to support UETCL in as far as implementation of projects.
Delayed projects completion has been attributed to the challenges faced in land acquisition during implementation.
We liaise with the responsible ministries to have policies and regulations on land acquisition so as to fast track acquisition of land for implementation of.
Minister Nakabira has clarified to the ending Umeme concession workers of the distribution company are assured of jobs even after the Umeme tenure.
To allay the fears of the staff who are grappling with the anxiety that we are not going to reduce the distribution network that Umeme has been operating. And what that means is that we require staff.
Umeme Uganda Limited has formally communicated to its shareholders the status of the company and what next after concession expires. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Nabagereka Sylvia Agenda of Buganda this week launched Mama Faith Luwarira Foundation at Masulita in Wakiso district. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mogalu, who is the patron of this foundation, pledged to ensure that vulnerable children are supported holistically.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, says he plans to roll out a foundation to help needy children holistically and also equip them with the skills. The Nabagereka of Uganda, Nabagereka commended the bishop's wife for her efforts to start a foundation which will help needy children.
I therefore implore you to join hands with Mama Faith Luwarira Foundation using your gifts, your talents, skills and resources to build stable godly marriages and families and raise a generation of boys and girls that will know God and purpose to walk in His ways. I also appeal to you to pray and fast for the plight of marriages and families so that God can restore them to His original plan. The foundation's purpose is to lift the Lord's banner.
She said that Buganda Kingdom will be assisting the foundation whenever need arises. The Archbishop Church of Uganda, who is also the patron of Mama Faith Luwarira Foundation, His Grace Dr. Kazimba Mugalu, says there is need to help people spiritually and physically.
Okugenda okuleeta enkyukakyuka mu bulamu bw'abantu mu kitundu kino, enkyukakyuka ey'abaana abawala, abaana abalenzi, okusomesebwa, okuyigirizibwa, kubanga Katonda bw'abeerawo tewasigala kye kimu. Katonda bw'akka taleka abantu nga bwe yabasanze. Katonda bw'akka akyusa embeera n'emitima gy'abantu okutandikira ku muntu asookerwako. Katonda ono kyakola. N'olwekyo ndi obwezo bwa ndi kitegeeza Katonda tagenda kuleka kitundu kino kye kimu. Katonda tagenda kuleka jjinja nga terikyusiddwa. Katonda tagenda kuleka bantu nga tebalokoleddwa.
In her speech, Faith Nachitende Luwarira, who was celebrating her 60th birthday, said that many people have helped her realize her vision.
You're still watching the weekly news roundup. Makerere University this week expressed the need to preserve local languages through the introduction of a new curriculum for a master's degree in 5 languages. The Principal College Humanities at Makerere University, Josephine Ahikire, said this is another way to transform the institution to be truly research-led university in the region.
Is in the process of finalizing most of these curriculums, especially for MA in German Studies, MA in Arabic, MA in Kiswahili, MA in Luganda, MA in Nyaktara, and we are also revamping the MA in English Language Studies. So all those, the old and the new, will make us well positioned in research-led university. And we believe with all those programs, we shall be able to not only mentor masters and PhD students, but we shall also be able to do research in our languages, in our cultures, and in communication-related sciences. Ethnic background. And as linguists, as communicators, and people who cherish culture, we feel that it's important to celebrate our cultures, to celebrate our languages, so that people know that beyond other foreign languages which we admire, we have our own languages.
A university of that nature has to strengthen graduate programs. It is at graduate level that you produce a truly skilled university graduate. You continue to build that capacity of critical thinking, of also innovations to resolve human predicaments. So it's at master's level. As the word sounds, master, you're sort of strengthening the knowledge base of the person. So that's why it's important to expand graduate programs.
Moving on, the Minister of State for Lands, Maria Obiga Kania, this week asked the business community in Lira City to shun their planned protest against the contractor undertaking the Woolsmith project in the city. Kania, who was in Lira to monitor the project, noted that there are challenges as the project progresses. He pledged to return in January to follow up on the project progress.
This road. In November last year, a 37 billion Woolsmith project was launched in Lira City. At least 3.5 kilometers of roads within the city were to be upgraded. Construction of Coronation Park and a children's park in Adiel. Abubakar Technical Services and Al Nuhami Group, a joint venture, then kick-started the project with a call to finish within the 15-month contract period. By August 31st, the project was at 41% completion due to numerous challenges, and a 7-month extension was considered.
We know the purpose of this road was supposed to help us, the business community, to improve on our trading.
This act some businessmen whose businesses were affected.
But we felt so much concern.
I am sure a good project will compensate for the loss that they made. So I'm appealing to them and asking them for their patience for a little while. I'm coming back in January here. I will join them in the kind of protest. I want them to adopt my protest. My protest is to come here and talk to the contractors, not to go on the road.
On his monitoring return a year after the project was launched, State Minister for Lands Maria Obiga Kania noted that in spite of the challenges, the project is progressing.
They need to put more efforts. There is some progress which has been made, but now I think they need to intensify more. Now we want to hope for the best, that they'll be able to finish within that period of time. I don't want to think that they would like to fail, because obviously the consequences of failing are in the contract.
He ordered the contractor to avail the city authorities with a revised work schedule detailing how works will be completed within the extended period.
Of how much they've done. In some areas, they've done fairly well, considering the circumstances of some of the obvious delays which had to come. But all that it needs is they need to put more effort, deploy more resources, both personnel and equipment.
Like right now, we are doing supervision. So you pick that document, and then you look at it and you say, by this date, you had proposed to accomplish this activity by this particular time. But if it is not there, plainly, we are just doing a plain unprofessional supervision, which is not correct. So they are really supposed to avail us with that.
Now we are fighting that gap. But what we can assure you, Honorable Minister, this class that we are going to perform.
You sat down, you said, I'm Abubakar, let nobody joke with me, I'll finish.
Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
The Leader of Faith of Unity, Owobsobozi Bisaka, this week climaxed a 3-day tour of Eastern Uganda, during which he addressed a congregation at Abuwalasi sub-county and Sironko district. He asked the congregation to renew their dedication to faith of unity, hard work and avoidance of devilish acts.
The Faith of Unity has gotten more followers during a visit by the faith's leader to Sironko district. Owobsobozi Bisaka warmly welcomed the new followers and asked them to work hard, be committed to their faith and exemplary behavior that will attract others. Faith of Unity movement was founded by Dosteo Bisaka, formerly of Muhoro, Kagadi district, in 1980. It is arguably one of the fastest growing religious movements in Uganda, spread across the entire Great Lakes region.
Omulimo era we yagutandikira Bunyoro Kapyeri era abantu ne baleeta amasitaani ne baleeta ku itambiro lye n'ayokya ebintu ebyo nga baleeta ensawo omwezi gumu nga baleeta ensawo nga 10.
During this visit, Omusobozi Bisaka was flanked by several high-profile guests, including Omukwenda Kusemerwa and Mwenge North legislator David Muhumuza.
N'obusobozi kyayimiriddeko n'agamba bw'obanga oli buddiiniyo oba lumukiriza oli wonna kola ekyobumu mubeere bamu temulwana temwekyawa yagala muno nga bw'oyagala.
Bisaka's entourage was well received at all places they made stops like in Jinja, Iganga and Mbale.
Chisoro District Village chairpersons this week received bicycles provided by the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government. The bicycle distribution was officiated by the State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Honorable Sandra Kahunde.
Government has handed over 445 bicycles to Local Council 1 and 2 chairpersons in Chisoro District. They are meant to help the leaders monitor government programs. The Minister of State for Youth, Sarah Nyirabashitsi, officiated the ceremony and appealed to the beneficiaries to traverse the district, monitoring community work and ensure timely implementation of government projects.
They have been our security in the district. They do everything, self-sacrifice, by the way. They are judges, they are councillors, they share their food with people. And so today, we are commissioning so that they can continue doing government programs easily. As we are mobilizing for parish development model, it will help them to get better movement and simpler.
She also promised to present to Parliament the issue of increasing the pay for LC1 chairpersons who earn 10,000 shillings per month. The Chisoro District Vice Chairperson, Alex Nambajimana, commended the government for giving local council leaders transport facilities. He asked them to use the bicycles responsibly and not dare sell them. He asked the minister to table before the Parliament the issue of increasing the wages of LC1 chairpersons because they perform a lot of duties. The Chisoro District Speaker, Amos Hachizimana, asked the chairpersons to stop using given stamps to sign for foreigners that are abundant in Chisoro due to refugee influx.
We're returning shortly with business updates before we let you go enjoy your Sunday afternoon.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
Welcome back. Good to know you're still watching the weekly news roundup and taking you through a business. Airtel Uganda this week launched the fiber to the home service, which supports any home owner for fast web browsing, heavy online gaming and downloading, multiple devices streaming, super fast video downloading and music streaming, CCTV devices capability and much more through a reliable fiber cable connection. Airtel Extreme service gives customers unlimited access with no limitation of data volume caps. The service was launched at Bellwether Apartments in Chanja, Kampala.
These small little creatures called monkeys, according to the International Telecommunication Union, ITU, they are saying that in the next about 5 or so years, every house will have at least 25 connected devices. All these devices work on connectivity, and that is why that's why we are moving to the next stage as a business. Our business is connectivity. We connect you to entertainment, we connect you to education, we connect you to your friends, your families, wherever they are, and we also connect you to opportunities through our mobile money platform, which means you can be able to exploit those opportunities that you see. there's a need for us to continue providing connectivity to these houses, which will grow to almost 25 devices. Welcome all our customers, and we always say we build a house, and a house is not a home until you guys come in and actually try these services. So we are inviting you into our house, make it a home, and try our services, and try this particular service, which is Airtel Wi-Fi. Brilliant one.
Because this is an unlimited service, you're not going to check for how many MBs or GBs. It will tell you your expiry date, and then you can choose to extend. That's the convenience on 1 to 5 for us. Thank you.
Commitment we have to getting that connectivity to the most, relevant places, which is your home.
Away from business on the international scene, before we let you go, a sad one came through this week. A renowned Congolese singer and dancer, Shalamwana, this weekend, passed on at the age of 64 after a long illness. The singer, according to her producer, Claude Mashala, died in the morning of Saturday.
Renowned Congolese dance master Shalamwana has gone to be with the Lord. Born in Lubumbashi, Congo, Kinshasa in 1957, renowned Congolese singer and dancer and queen of traditional music Shalamwana passed on Saturday morning. Shalamwana, whose real name was Elizabeth Shalamwana Mudike, often called Shalamwana, started her professional career in Kinshasa as a dancer in Mpongo Love's new band in 1967, later joining Mizonto Wela Wela. She would later leave Congo Kinshasa, then Zaire for Cote d'Ivoire. After her music failed to take off, she began to sing in Abidjan with a band led by Ivorian musician Jimmy Hysen, which record helped her broaden popularity in Cote d'Ivoire and around neighboring countries in 1981. In 1984, Shala moved to Paris, which had already become a center for Congolese music production. She recorded her first album, Kami, with Cameroonian manager Alaji Toure, featuring Congolese guitarist Rego Star. Unlike most Congolese who sang in Lingala and played the rumba, Shalamwana wrote much of her own material, mainly singing in her first language, Shiluba. Having established herself in Abidjan and Paris, Shalamwana returned to Kinshasa in 1986 to reinstate herself with a series of concerts. Despite an enthusiastic welcome, Congo's declining economy made it nearly impossible to maintain her career. She decided to keep her base in Paris, releasing several albums at a prompt pace and doing periodic tours to Europe and Africa. She then continued to record new material, but at a slower pace than in the 80s. Her songs Mutuwashi in 1996 and Pikapenda in 1999 were both well received. Shala joins Abeti, Mpongo Love and Bilia Belina, the first tiers of Congolese women entertainers, and championed the Mutuwashi rhythm and Shiluba language, though it limited her popularity at home, where rumba and Lingala rolled. Nonetheless, her choice mattered little to the international audience, and schooled in Congo's ethnic politics, which all embraced her music and sustained her popularity. Susan Naonga, reporting for UBC TV.
Well, we've come to the end of this particular newscast, and may her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you so much for watching this special edition that comes your way every Sunday afternoon. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and of course, from the entire team behind the scene that enabled me serve you better, I wish you a blessed Sunday afternoon, and of course, a fruitful week ahead. Keep watching the National Broadcaster. God bless you.